Hello, today we're going to do a workout that brings us back to the basics. So we're going to do exercises that focus around squats, lunges, and the all fours position, like planks and push-ups, and trying to perfect your form in those positions so that you're mechanically doing them better and recruiting the correct muscles versus compensating through them. So I have my timer set to a minute. Add weight if you want a harder or more resistance or a bigger challenge. I'm going to put weight on some of the exercises. So we will start in the all fours position, and I have the timer set to a minute. So I want you to start on hands and knees, and I want your shoulders above your hands, your hips above your knees. Make sure that you feel your canister so that your spine is neutral, your ribs are back towards your spine, you feel abs in this position. No neck, your neck should be relaxed. If you can do this, then go into a plank. Don't lock your knees. Come here, girl. Don't lock your knees, keep your knees soft. You should feel a lot of abs here. So this is the next, you're pushing your ribs up towards the ceiling. So you should feel serratus right underneath your shoulder blades. Hi. So we're gonna hold the plank the first round, and then we'll get into harder exercises, but we're warming up with just the basic position. Okay, so now we're gonna go into squats. So weight on your heels, feet hip width apart. You're gonna squat down, keeping a neutral spine. Exhale, lift that pelvic floor as long as it's not painful. So on the inhale, down, exhale up. You're trying to keep your canister. So your ribs are aligned over your pelvis. You're not sticking your ribs out or dropping your pelvis forward. Everything is stacked. You should feel those abs and hamstrings, that whole movement down and up. Exhale on the way up. It's really important to get your core synchronized, to protect that pelvic floor. Try not to get tight in your chest and your neck. Elsie, come here. All right, we're gonna go into lunges. So I want you to shorten up your stance. We're gonna lunge backward to recruit more hamstrings and glutes instead of going forward with hip flexor. So you're gonna go down or back, drop down. So you can see both my knees are 90 degrees, weights to that front heel. Okay, you think about that canister. Again, exhaling on your way up. I want you to put a cross reach. So left hand goes to right toe. So if you are trying to lunge really wide, your pelvis is gonna tilt forward, you're gonna extend your back. So you gotta be able to keep that canister. Think of a pop can, soda can. Those ribs are back. They're lined up over the front of your pelvis. In order to, you're gonna switch sides. In order to be able to do a long lunge, you have to have that flexibility in your hip flexors, which a lot of pre and postpartum women don't because of our compensation patterns. Ignore the hammering. The boys are trying out their new hammers from Easter. And you can put that cross reach in. So weight should stay through your front heel. You're grounding through that front leg. Alright, we're gonna go back to all fours. Alright, we're gonna go into push-up position. We're gonna modify it first. You're gonna make sure that you have that canister, you feel your abs, not your back. If you need to lift your hips a little bit more, if your hip flexors are tight, that's okay. You're going to exhale as you come down. Elbows are going back, not out. Back, shoulders are down, neck is long. As you go down, those shoulder blades come together, and then you push up. Okay, so blow out the whole time. As you go down, you should not feel your back start to extend, and you don't want to feel your ribs flare towards the ground. So everything, the only thing that's moving is your shoulders. Your core is solid, your back is stable. Even if you do regular push-ups, this is a good thing to practice every once in a while to check your form. All right, so we're gonna go into squats. I'm gonna grab some weights. So I'm gonna do a squat and press. Now, let's alternate, because then we're gonna get a little bit of a rotation through the rib cage, and if you reach sideways, you're working those obliques. So you're exhaling on the way up, and then going to the opposite side, alternating. Still feet hip width apart, so that those inner thighs can help control your pelvis. Your weight's through your heels, you're exhaling on the way up. When you press, don't let your shoulders hike. So a lot of people like extend their spine and the rib cage. They let those shoulders go up towards their ears. Think about a stable core so your shoulders can work from a stable base. All right, so actually keep those. We're gonna do lunges here. You can work on your balance by bringing that foot up. If that's too challenging, just leave your foot down here, but you're gonna cross reach here. You should feel obliques. You should feel hamstrings and abs, your whole movement. That outer hip on your stance leg, my right leg, should be active. Should feel a lot going on that right side. You're pumping your ribs, rotating your rib cage. All right, other side. Make sure your front knee doesn't go beyond your toes. That left hip should be working. Abs are on. All right, so that was 8 minutes. Going to the basic exercise positions. That's 10 pounds. Weight's got me today, apparently. So practice your form. Think about that stable core. You always need to have that connection in the front between your ribs and your pelvis. You don't want to dominate with your back. That throws that pelvis forward, ribs out, turns off your abs, puts a lot of stress on your pelvic floor. So remember, canister, neutral ribs, ribs go back. They're stacked with over a neutral pelvis. Front of your ribs should come right over the front of your pelvis. So, hope you enjoyed the workout. Do a couple rounds. That was 8 minutes. You can add on 16, 24 minutes. It's a pretty solid workout. Stay balanced.